The freaky bitch that's not your hoe, she wonder why my
Outside late night tryna catch a kill. Why you say that nigga on the drill if he ain't even kill? Late night posted on the block, man, this shit get real. If a nigga try to slide this way, I bet he gon' get killed. Walk down your motherfucking block with my Glock out. I'm outside posting on y'all block, bitch, I don't pop out. 4-5, hit him in the head, yeah, that's a knockout. If niggas really thinking they say sweet, bro, bring the chop out. Slide.
What's good, y'all? I'm Hearn, bro. And man, we finna do another reaction. This time, it's Christmas Eve, so might as well do a little Christmas short horror story. And got my little bro with me.
Yes, sir.
Coming back from last vid. You feel me? So, but you know how it is. We ain't gonna do too much talking. Let's get to react then.
Boy.
What?
Few years ago, I worked at a mall as an elf in Santa's village. I had been hired from an agency just like all the other elves, photographers, security, and of course the mall Santa. The mall wouldn't hire anyone outside of the agency since background checks were very important.
What's going on? Put me up.
Hold on. Nah. It was just the way bro started the video, bro. He said, what the fuck this nigga say? I used to work in Santa's workshop or some shit.
I worked at a mall as an elf in Santa's village. I had been hired.
Bruh. That was the most corny start off to a horror story I've ever seen in my life. I am not gonna lie.
Just like all the other elves, photographers, security, and of course the mall Santa. The mall wouldn't hire anyone outside of the agency since background checks were very important to them. When I first started out, we had a really good team. Then the guy playing Santa quit and they brought in someone else. It was another cliche old chubby guy with a gray beard, but there was something really creepy and unsettling about this guy. His name was Arthur, and he always acted weird towards everyone. He didn't seem to know how to interact with people. Everyone felt very uncomfortable around him. But what I found weird was how Arthur acted worse towards females than he did guys. He was generally very rude to the women and a lot nicer to the guys. He was especially nice to me, which made me feel...
Is he fruity?
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Tighten up. Tighten up.
Incredibly uncomfortable. Every time he spoke to me, he would compliment me about something and then...
I would have quit.
Come on, man.
I would have quit.
I'm out there.
I ain't gonna lie.
look at me in the creepiest way.
Hey, darling, do you like candy cane?
Darling! You know what? Alright. It's supposed to be a scary story.
No, I don't. If you don't say yes, I'm gonna put you in my naughty list, darling. Stop calling me that.
I even noticed he was nicer to the boys who sat on his lap. He would talk to them for way longer than the girls, and he seemed to give them special attention. It was all very strange. I mostly tried to avoid Arthur as much as I could, but it was difficult since we worked together all the time. I would always leave work as quickly as possible when my shift ended, so that he wouldn't have time to talk to me. After one shift, I was starting to leave when Arthur walked up to me.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
He gave me a creepy and awkward smile. I immediately wanted to leave, but I didn't think I could just ignore him.
What do you need?
Arthur then went into a whole story about how he had pulled some muscle in his back and couldn't drive home. Apparently, some kid had pulled his back from sitting in his lap. It all sounded like a lie to me, but I couldn't tell for sure.
So, do you...
Man, even if the shit sounded like a lie or not, you don't fuck with him. Don't do it. Bro.
Point blank clear.
Ride me home and help me up to my apartment?
I didn't want any part of it and I told him that I couldn't do it. I just wanted to leave, but he kept asking me over and over again. I refused him multiple times, but he wouldn't stop. He told me that he wouldn't be able to get home without my help, but I finally gave in and agreed to drive him home. The
Your time is valuable. Graduate
Go.
faster.
Make your money,
ECPI
make your
University.
money, make your
It
money.
was
Get that.
The time we were in the car, I felt really creeped out. Arthur kept trying to make conversation, but it focused on getting to his apartment as fast as I could. Then at one point, he reached out and put his hand on my lap. It was creepy as hell. I was so grossed out and just wanted to get the whole thing over with. Finally,
Hold on,
we
wait,
got to-
wait. I done did some crazy fugazi. Hold on, wait. You said put his hand on your lap while you're driving? Buck nasty. Bro, I don't even know what to say. We done started off, I thought it would probably be true. Oh, it say true scary horror. Bro, this shit weird. This shit weird. Hold on.
to his
we
apartment.
gon-
I
I'ma
just
keep
wanted to
watching.
drop
I'ma
him
eat
off and get the hell out of there. But he insisted that he needed my help getting upstairs. So I reluctantly get the hell over. It was
Boy, you shit.
Hold on.
as I
bruh.
could. Then
Hold
at
on.
one
I know he ain't. I ain't even look. Hold on. I'm gonna go back.
point, he reached out and put his hand on my lap. It was creepy as hell. I was so grossed out and just wanted to get the whole thing over with. Finally, we got to his apartment. I just wanted to drop him off and get
So what you do? Why skip? You ain't say nothing about the rest of the ride. Like,
That's why niggas gotta keep that fire with 'em. I ain't gonna lie.
really, and in the world today, though, I don't think nobody doing this. I mean, but you never know. People crazy as, you feel me? Weirdos. And if they get, they probably do. They say it's true.
the hell out of there. But he insisted that he needed my
Bro, my ass with a skirt pulled out as soon as this nigga got out.
help getting upstairs. So I reluctantly got out of the car and helped him up to his place. We moved really slowly, and Arthur leaned on me the whole time. We eventually made it to his door, and I told him that I had to go.
Bro, you're in his home. Laws don't even matter no more. You're in his home. He can kill you in his home. Call the police, said you broke in. I would never got out of the car, but that's just me.
Arthur then told me to wait by the door for a second as he wanted to give me a gift for helping him. He then took out his phone and snapped a picture of me. Then he went to his room. I stood there confused and
Snapped a
impatiently
picture?
waited for him. Several minutes passed and Arthur still didn't come back. I began to feel sick to
Bro is Willie waiting on him. Okay.
my stomach, and I had a very uneasy feeling that something was wrong, so I decided to leave. But then, as I started to turn around, Arthur appeared in the doorway out of nowhere. He was half naked, wearing only his underwear and holding a metal rod. He stared at me with a sick smile on his face, then swung the rod at me. I instinctively ducked as Arthur barely missed me and smashed the wall instead. I pushed Arthur to the floor and immediately ran down the hallway towards the elevator as fast as I could.
How is that a door right there?
I don't need to see no fucking handle. We're not gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about that.
I made it to the elevator and maniacally pushed the button for it to open. As I did, I looked behind me to see Arthur slowly slide out of his door. We made eye contact just as the elevator doors opened and he started running at me. I entered the elevator and frantically tried to close the door as Arthur got closer and closer. At the last second, the door closed just as Arthur smashed his rod into it. I could hear him slamming it against the door over and over again.
You can't run from me. That's your hell.
The elevator finally started to move downstairs and Arthur's beating grew quieter. As soon as I reached the first floor, I ran the hell out of the building. I didn't even think to get in my car. I just kept running and running, trying.
What you mean you ain't think to get in your car,
Nigga said
Goofy?
he didn't think to get in the car.
She said you ain't think to get in a car?
Bro got him pissing himself.
Nah. Look. You got a vehicle? Skedaddle.
Get up out
To
that
put as
damn-
much distance between me and Arthur as possible. When I had finally gotten far enough away, I entered a random store and called the cops.
That camera turned off. Now we back for real.
You gotta tell them boys you got another, yo.
Arthur was
hold on. I do got a whole nother monitor, actually. Matter of fact, while I done paused it, man.
Put them boys on game.
Oh nah. The reason I ain't been posting, it's been a lot going on. I've been trying to get a whole lot of stuff like situated, make sure that I can be recorded in a good place, a good environment to the point where it's not noisy and stuff like that. You feel me? And then I had to get me another monitor. Had to go hella places for cords for this job. If somebody would have told me that I had and needed to know what the different type of cords and splitters and ports, and you feel me, then I would never did. But you know, I did it anyway. So now I got the little dual monitor set up. You feel me? Also, I might start doing Twitch. I'm gonna just say that I might. Y'all might see me over there. But just know I was over here first. If I start being a Twitch head, then I don't know.
finally gotten far enough away. I entered a random store and called the cops. Arthur was later arrested at his apartment. It was later revealed that Arthur was a divorced man who was interested in younger men. He had allegedly killed multiple young guys in the greater Toronto area that were all around my age. He would then dismember them and put them in flower pots that he kept around his home. I remembered seeing several of them in his apartment, but what was even more disturbing is that Arthur took photos of his victims before and after killing them. That's when I remembered him taking a picture of me. I was completely traumatized but happy that I had gotten away before Arthur had taken the second picture. This story was inspired by a horrific case revolving around a man who worked as a shopping mall Santa Claus, who allegedly took the lives of 8 men.
Oh wait, it said it was a true story. It was finna tell us how it's a true story. Hold on.
Traumatized but a story was gotten away before Arthur had taken the second picture. This story was inspired by a horrific case revolving around a man who worked as a shopping mall Santa Claus, who allegedly took the lives of 8 men and hid their remains inside plant pots that he would then rearrange from time to time. The culprit was a 70-year-old man named Bruce MacArthur, who preyed on multiple younger men in Canada's gay village and got away with a string of horrific crimes over 7 years. MacArthur would photograph his victims before and after.
So bro is gay, divorced, he ain't have shit else to live for, man. Bro, that's weird, bro. Taking pictures, putting them in, nah, niggas a menace, bro. He took pictures before and after. Put them in vases, would rearrange the vases. What type of nigga you gotta be to do some shit like that?
They were taken out and kept a picture album as a grim trophy. When the police finally caught up with MacArthur, they found potential victim number 9 in his bed, with his before picture already taken. The man has since been sentenced and has been dubbed by the police as the serial killer Santa.
Story 2.
This all happened around Christmas time. I always looked forward to the holiday. I enjoyed all the decorations and exchanging gifts with family and friends. But ever since
Facts.
Oh God, bro had.
It's lumpy as hell. What's the word?
Baggy as fuck.
What?
I moved out of my parents' place, there was a problem. I moved to a small home in a quiet area. Everyone in the neighborhood was fine except for one person. It was this psychotic woman named Mel who just so happened to be my next door neighbor. She made living in the neighborhood rather difficult. I could often hear her from my house. She would always scream and yell things like she was talking to someone, but she lived alone. I thought at first that she could just be on the phone with someone, but then I caught her talking to herself a few times. She'd be outside in the backyard or on her front porch, chattering away to herself. It wasn't anything normal either. She sounded like a deranged psycho. Sometimes, she would be so loud that it was even hard for me to sleep. She could go on for hours at a time, without seeming to stop for a breath. Then, out of nowhere, she would just go quiet. It was kind of creepy. I never knew what set her off. What was even weirder was that she would sometimes claw and scratch at my door like a dog. Then she would groan bizarrely and make a lot of other weird noises. It was all really freaky, but I would just ignore her until she eventually left. My friends told me that I should just call the cops, but I didn't want to do that. I felt pretty bad for Mel. She obviously had some sort of mental disability, and I was sympathetic because I had family members with the same issues. I also felt bad because she lived alone. No one ever seemed to come check up on her either. It was sad. At first, I started to get used to her. Then things began to get even more disturbing. Mel became completely obsessed with me. I don't even know how it happened, but she practically began stalking me. She would wait outside so that she could talk to me before I left for work. And then she would be in the same spot when I came back. Sometimes she would stay outside my door for hours at a time, like she was hoping that I would let her in. It made me really uncomfortable, but I didn't know what to do about it. At first, she was more shy.
So I guess the nigga ain't getting no sleep. Shit.
But then she started telling me that she was in love with me. It was practically every time that I saw her. I tried to tell her that I didn't feel the same way, but she didn't seem to care. I tried to avoid her as much as I could, but it was difficult with her living right next door. This went on for a while. Over the years, I continually tried to give Mel signs that I wasn't interested, but it didn't stop her from making advances. It was getting ridiculous. She gave me gifts for every holiday despite me never getting her anything. Valentine's Day, Christmas, my birthday, it was all the same. I didn't want to accept any of them, but I didn't want to be rude. It was all way too awkward. I really didn't want anything to do with her, but I was afraid that she would snap if I told her. I never actually opened any of the gifts though. I just threw them in a closet. I didn't want to find out what kind of gifts Mel had picked out. I basically hated being at home due to Mel. She was always so unpredictable. I never felt like I could have anyone over because I was too scared that she'd interfere. I never knew what to expect when I came home from work. It was a bad situation, but it eventually got even worse. On Christmas Eve, the night just before Christmas, I was sleeping peacefully in my room when something woke me up. It was around 3 a.m. when I realized that it was Mel's weird groaning and scratching noises at the front door. This was really disturbing since it was so late. Mel had never come to my door in the middle of the night before. She had to be having another episode. I didn't want to call the cops on her, but I was annoyed as hell. It was way too late to put up with her shit. I went downstairs to open the door, and sure enough, Mel was standing right there. She looked creepy as hell. It freaked me out. Mel then offered me some Christmas gifts, holding them out in each hand. She had a raunchy calendar in one hand and a pair of shoes in the other. I got even more annoyed then and told her that I didn't want her presents.
What the hell is wrong with you? It's 3 in the morning.
Mel stared at me in disbelief for a second, and then she got really upset and tossed the gifts in my face. She then ran back to her house, crying hysterically.
You done did it now.
Well, you fault.
Boy, you done did it now. You done did it now. You should have.
I bet you see Latina too.
Hmm?
Y'all missing bitches. Crazy.
Bruh, you could have took them gifts. Like it.
Latina?
I know, but look. You could have took. The nigga could have took the gifts like he been doing and threw them in his closet.
You fed me.
Went back to sleep. That ass could have went to sleep.
Facts.
Could have literally went back to sleep. But now you're fucked.
Bad, but I was fed up with her guilt tripping me all the time, even if she was disabled. I locked the door and headed back to bed, glad that it was over quickly. But as I walked towards the stairs, I suddenly saw Mel crawling in through my kitchen window. She fell through the window onto the floor and stumbled to her feet. She then pulled out a knife and started charging at me.
Ah!
I ran upstairs and slammed the bedroom door. I was terrified. She had completely snapped. But suddenly I realized there was something wrong. The bedroom door had no lock. And I realized this just before Mel came slamming into it. I threw my body up against the door and pushed back as hard as I could. She then started stabbing a knife through the door repeatedly as I backed off just in time.
We know you're hovering over that button, but we need your help. We have a better button, we promise.
Held the door shut for as long as I could, but she eventually broke it down. I fell to the floor as she stood in the doorway, holding...
You got overpowered by a crazy bitch.
Female.
Your adrenaline wasn't even running, bit dog. You couldn't keep the door closed. She's literally stabbing the door, pushing you and twisting the thing at the same time. Only thing you gotta do is hold the door.
The knife over my head.
Please, don't, please!
On December 25th of 2013, a woman named Melissa Young was jailed for life after being found guilty of the murder of her neighbor on Christmas Day. The victim's name...
She looked crazy.
She looked crazy. It's a white girl. You said Latina, ain't it?
I thought.
Was Alan Williamson. Melissa claimed that she allegedly saw a bright light and heard voices in her head before she flipped and did what she did. The motive for the woman's attack was because
she looked like one of them.
Alan had allegedly rejected her Christmas present of a pair of unisex trainers and a copy of the Sun's newspaper's 2014 calendar. Melissa has mentioned that if Alan had accepted the gifts from her, she would not have attacked him.
Yes, sir.
Everyone has stories about how crazy their relatives are, but I think mine might be one of the worst. It happened when I was younger, still in my early teens. I think about it sometimes, and it still scares me to this day. It happened around Christmas time. My family would always invite a bunch of people over for the holidays. It wouldn't just be for one day either. Friends and relatives would be in and out of the house for the entire month of December. It made it pretty hectic, but I enjoyed it. I liked seeing everyone. But there was this one woman that I had never been fond of. She was my mom's friend. I don't know how they had met, but they had known each other for years. My mom treated her like family and invited her over for the holidays just like everyone else. The problem was she was a little crazy. She had never been that nice to me. She would always pick on me because I was the youngest in the family. She would always make me the butt end of every joke and treated me like I was a little kid who didn't understand anything. It was frustrating, but I just ignored it. I figured I couldn't like all of my mom's friends. Then, over the years, it got a lot worse. She started to lose her mind and began to act completely psycho, like she had a mental condition. That's when her treatment of me went from annoying to scary. It was like she had a thing for me or something. She would still pick on me like always, but it felt different somehow. There was another level to it that made me feel uneasy. She would always single me out in the conversation and say the strangest things, too. I would catch her staring at me from across the room. She didn't even try to look away when I caught her doing it. It was really creepy. It got worse and worse as time went on. I started to miss the earlier days of her picking on me. At least then it wasn't so creepy and strange. I felt so uncomfortable around her. But my mom kept inviting her over and spending time with her. I didn't understand it because she would yell at my mom all the time. One sec.
She was yelling at your ma dudes?
Come on now.
She be yelling at your ma dudes. You don't like her.
Picking on your ass.
Tell your mom. Yeah. Well, I guess your mom ain't gonna do nothing because she obviously been yelling at her ass. I mean,
where your father at?
And they would be having a normal conversation, and then suddenly she would blow up over nothing. It was crazy. She would.
I'll be damned the bitch do this to my mother. I don't give a damn. Let me see. Ah! I get it. Just hold on, I'm gonna. You don't need to. You know what?
Lash out at my mom over the phone too. I told my
Over the phone is crazy. You're not yelling at my mom. Period, bro.
up over nothing. It was crazy. She would lash out at my mom over the phone too. I told my mom to forget about her, but my mom said we have to have sympathy because she was most likely bipolar. I didn't get it. I just wanted the woman to be out of our lives. But she continued to mess with me out of everyone else. She would always act insane, but she acted even worse towards me. It got to the point where I would dread the holidays because I knew she would be coming over. She basically ruined every party or event she was invited to. The other relatives even asked my mom to stop inviting her, but my mom refused. She had a weird...
They probably doing some other shit.
Word. Nah, that's crazy right
soft
there.
spot for the woman. Every time the woman came for events like Thanksgiving or Christmas, she would act out and yell like a psycho. It didn't matter who was directed at. Sometimes she would just scream at a wall. Of course, if I was in the room, she would normally yell at me. It always came in weird fits. 1 second she would be quiet and then she would blow up. Sometimes she would suddenly space out and stand perfectly still. That honestly freaked me out more than the yelling. It was very unsettling to see her just staring at nothing. When she wasn't in one of her screaming or staring fits, she would spend her time tormenting me in other ways. She would try to intentionally scare me by hiding behind something and then jumping out at me. Usually it would work too, especially when I was younger. Whenever she got me with one of her weird jokes, she would laugh about it forever. She sounded like a total psycho when she did. That was the part I hated most of all. Her laugh sent chills down my spine. So that's what I had to look forward to around the holidays. But then one particular year, it reached a whole new level. Whenever my family hosted Christmas, they liked to have people exchange gifts. Everyone would gather in one room and then would go around and take turns opening stuff. It was always really fun. That particular year, though, the woman got me a present. Everyone was handing out their gifts and enjoying themselves when suddenly, the woman walked over to me smiling widely and holding a present. She never got anyone.
I wouldn't even open the gift. She been bullying you your whole life. Be yelling at your mama. She ain't never got no gift, but this year she got a gift. It can't be nothing good.
Gifts. So it was very strange to see she had brought me anything. I had no idea what it could be, but I was very uncomfortable to think that she had gotten me something. The box was pretty big too, and it felt heavy. She stared at me eagerly and urged me to open it. I reluctantly set it down and started tearing off the paper. Then I opened the lid, and what I saw was the most disturbing, horrific thing I had ever laid eyes on. There was a dead dog inside the box. She gave me a dead dog as a gift.
A dead dog.
Well, after I say, cut his head off and put it in a box and sit in bed.
She immediately started laughing with that same psychotic laugh while everyone else screamed. It was terrible.
She started laughing in the middle of the crib while everybody else is screaming. And look, in my eyes, listen, it's different when it's just when you can act crazy around one person versus when you can act crazy in public. Like you don't like, okay, it's like you can act crazy. You feel me? Like, just like you're one person, that person. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but y'all get it, hopefully. In public versus private. Acting crazy. Psycho one-on-one versus a group.
Fair. I get it.
They do.
Terrifying. I felt sick to my stomach and pushed through the box away from me. She just continued to laugh more and more, sending chills down my spine. Since that day, my parents have banned her from coming to any family events. We're all completely scarred from the ordeal. My mom still gets called.
Y'all scared to death of this woman. Y'all could have been avoided this. Mom! Could have been avoided this.
Calls from the woman every now and then. She would leave disturbing voicemails asking how we're enjoying the dog. This story was inspired by a fan submitted.
Whoa, now that's disrespectful. enjoying the dog.
Dead dog at that.
Its story revolving around a woman who allegedly gifted a dead dog to their family for Christmas. No one really knows the interior motive on why the woman would do such a thing, but from what the victim claims, it was most likely done out of sheer spite and jealousy. The victim hasn't heard of any updates from the woman since, but claims he's still traumatized as he's reminded of it every Christmas.
Alright, y'all boys, man. We finna get out here. I got more shit that I want to post. Not just reactions. I got some games for y'all, but cause I am a gamer. That's what I got on here to do, not reactions. But y'all gonna find out soon enough. Go follow my brother on all his shit. I'm gonna put his shit in the description. You feel me?
Yeah, our boys gonna tap in, man. New shit coming soon, man.
Well, a whole bunch of new shit. 2024. Yes, sir.
No doubt.
What? Not playing no games.
Tell Cracker, free me out that box, man.
What?